Hi, I'm Summit County Sheriff Steve Berry. Re-entry in Summit County. Well, first of all, the numbers, which we were just discussing off camera a little bit, they vary month to month, or every few months to every few months. But we have quite a few programs here in Summit County, which is a good thing for those getting out and being released here in the Northeast Ohio, Summit County area. The problem we have is the jobs in this area are starting to dry up in a lot of places. You might be able to get a job at a retail or a fast food place or something of that nature, but for you to live and to be able to pay the bills and get a decent meal every day to put food on the table, especially if you have a family situation, it's not too hard. Everything's hard, don't get me wrong, but it's not too hard for someone completely alone or by themselves without a family-type situation that they're trying to support pretty much on their own. If they're doing this, wife, children, etc., and the wife's not working due to whatever, and they have kids, it's a tough situation. Putting food on the table, the necessary supplies that you need just for daily living, for washing clothes, doing house chores, this kind of thing, you have to work a ton of hours. So it's not easy. There are, and one of the things that we were talking about is that there are several programs, and where we are fortunate, there are several programs out there that are more than willing to, number one, find you, help find you that position or that job, as well as help you cope and get through with everyday life situations that all of us at one time or another have had. So these organizations that we have here in the Akron area, as well as Summit County, both government and private, there are several out there. And I would suggest that anybody who gets out of prison and is trying to walk the line as far as staying out and wants to stay out, and I hope at least most do, and I truly believe in my heart that most do not want to go back. They don't just throw caution to the wind and say, well, I'll go back to the old crowd. It's easy for me to go sell some dope, easy for me to go break into houses or whatever. It's a change of pattern, it's a change of behavior. It might even be a change of where you live, who you're hanging with, the whole shot, for you to succeed. This is not easy. You got to have help. And this is where a lot of these organizations also come into play. Not only are they going to help you find employment, they're also going to help you spend your evenings, your days off, etc., with them rather than on the street. Bondage Breakers is a reentry program here in the Akron area that is headed up by Dr. Malone, Alicia Malone. It's a faith-based, Christian-type, faith-based organization, and I'm very proud to be on the board of directors of Bondage Breakers. When I became sheriff in 2013, I replaced outgoing Sheriff Drew Alexander on the board of directors for it. Dr. Malone, first of all, is a very well-educated woman, and number two, she's a very, very dedicated woman. She spends a lot of time traveling to the prisons, helping ready them, both males and females, to come back to living outside of the prison population. They're very dedicated. It is not a big organization. It's actually a pretty small organization. We don't have a lot of funding. We get what we can through state, federal, and grants, etc. But they have really gone out of their way to try to make it accessible to former inmates, and really tried to work through neighborhood programs for at least starting out some employment and some paychecks for these people to get them on the road of independence. And this is what it's all about, because people, a lot of times what it is that when people come out of prison, they want, number one, they're not only independent now, or they're not only free from the bars and from the grounds that they had to stay on for years and months, wherever, however long their term was, their sentence was. It's a way of life. And if you're a male and you have a family, a lot of times it plays mind games with us that, well, I haven't taken care of my family for a few years like maybe I should have. I want to do that. I want to do it right away. And that opportunity a lot of times is just not there. And they need a sounding board. They need, first of all, a healthy start, a helpful start, and a sounding board to sit down with people and say, you know, I'm not where I should be in life and I need help to get there. And a lot of times just talking it over and talking it out with people who are experienced in this type of thing, as well as educated in this through different and they're in programs and they're there for you to have that cup of coffee at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, to get for you to get in off the street at 2 or 3 in the morning. And this is where we are fortunate in Summit County that we have a lot of organizations with the people who are willing to do that with a lot of these people. Talk firsthand because they are also former inmates through Department of Corrections, and they know what they're talking about, and they've really made something of their lives. And you can see the pride. You truly can see that these people, it means a lot to them to help another human being who's been through what they've been through. And I think sometimes that's the only way that you can relate 100% is for somebody who's walked in their shoes. I think that we have to start off by treating people like human beings. And I always did try to do that, and I used to tell them, you're not black, you're not white, you're orange, because everyone in the Summit County Jail at that time wore orange uniforms, and they were all equal in my eyes. I didn't care if they were convicted, if they were just awaiting trial. You treat people the way that they should be treated. And I always found a lot of pride in doing that, and when I would get a letter saying from someone thanking me for the way I treated them, even though they were in a jail cell, it made me feel pretty good. If they need to talk to somebody, most of these organizations, a lot of them at least, have 24-hour lines to different people who can help them through a crisis, as well as possibly even personally meet with them. And the organizations of reentry organizations, law enforcement, if you get hold of us and you have problems and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, as long as you're getting hold of us and we're not coming to you, you're on the winning side already. You're starting out on the good side, you know, and that's all you have to do is say, you know, I've been an addict, I've been a thief, I've been whatever you are for no matter how many months, years, whatever, and I've been in prison now for a while, but now that I'm out of prison, old habits die hard, let's face fact. And we understand that. We're human beings. We will do everything we can to help and place you. Give us a call. We'll see what we can do to get you a bed. I mean, most of the time, we might give you a ride down to, a shelter or something. I know we've done that over my career a lot because we appreciate the attempts you're making to stay on the right side of the bars, as well as not return whatsoever, not harm anybody, not harm yourself, etc., by contacting us or an agency. So you've done that. You've made that correct right step by doing that. You're right. And yes, we will help. We'll do everything we can. We truly do not have enough resources. We have a lot of resources. We truly do not have enough for everything that's going on in the world, including here in Summit County, due to PTSD, addictions, everything. The other side, as law enforcement, we're going to do everything we can to keep you out, but it comes down to one person. We still have a lot of returnees who just can't break away. And they say it's for a variety of reasons. It's the way they were raised. It's the way that they've lived for years and they don't know any other way out. It's the old neighborhood gang. It's the old crew that they were with. And they don't have the resources, the money, the family, or whatever, anywhere else to break away from this area. So they came back home. And they're most comfortable in their own surroundings. The problem is that's where, when you're most comfortable, that's when you're going to have problems a lot of times. And that's when we're going to have to put handcuffs to you. And we're hoping not to. But we will. But we will. Very seriously, take advantage of everything you can take advantage. And it's not playing the system if you're trying. And if you're going to give back, if you're going to pay it forward when you can, then you're not taking advantage of the system. You're using the system for the benefit not only of you, and don't look at it that way. You're using the system as the benefit to society as a whole. It starts with you to try to do the right thing. All of us are human beings, man. There ain't anybody on earth that can't say one day in their life they didn't need some kind of help. Everybody makes mistakes. I don't care what profession they're in. I don't care who they are. unless they're a good Lord above himself, everybody makes mistakes, at least in my eyes. Reach out when you need to the right way, because that's the only way you're going to get through it. And we want you to do that. I'm asking you to do that, so I do see you out walking rather than seeing you down at the Summit County Jail when I'm working down there. But yeah, I'd say welcome home and take advantage of any any organization, any person that's willing to reach out a hand to you and help you, including law enforcement. Take advantage of it, because, like I said, everybody needs a helping hand during their life, and all of us do. And we're all proud people. We all have a little streak of pride that we say, well, I don't want to have to do. Let go of the ego and the pride and everything.